I want to start with a question I have heard in my exam room more times than almost any other. A patient sits down across from me, usually somewhere in their 60s or 70s, and they lean in a little, almost like they're about to tell me a secret, and they ask, "Doctor, is it true that my blood type changes what I'm supposed to eat?" And every single time, I pause. Because the honest answer is more interesting and frankly more useful than the simple yes or no they're expecting. So today, I'm going to give you that honest answer. Not the version you read on a website trying to sell you a meal plan, not the version your neighbor swears by, the real one. Because here is what I have learned in all my years of sitting with patients. Your blood type is one of the most overlooked clues your body carries about how you age. But almost everyone who talks about it gets the story half wrong. And that half wrong story can actually cost you your health after 60. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand your own body in a way most people your age never will. And the very last thing I share, the morning habit, is something you can start tomorrow that matters more than your blood type ever could. But let me say one thing first, plainly. I'm Dr. Whitfield, and here at the Longevity Lab, I've spent years sitting across from patients just like you, so I owe you the truth. Nothing I tell you today replaces a conversation with your own physician. I don't know your medications. I don't know your history. What I can give you is understanding, and understanding is where good health begins. So let's begin with the thing almost nobody explains. What is a blood type really? Most of us were told our blood type once, maybe on a hospital form decades ago, and then we filed it away like an old phone number. AB, AB, O. A letter, a label. But that letter is not just paperwork. That letter describes something real that lives on the surface of every single red blood cell traveling through your body right now at this very moment as you listen to me. Picture your red blood cells as tiny boats, millions and millions of them, floating through your veins. On the outside of each boat, there are little markers, almost like flags. Your blood type is simply which flags your boats are flying. Type A flies one kind of flag, type B flies another, type AB flies both, and type O flies no flag at all. Now, why would something so small matter? Because your immune system, which is the great guardian of your body, reads those flags constantly. It uses them to tell the difference between you and not you. And here's where it gets interesting for those of us past 60. As we age, that same immune system, that same recognition machinery, starts behaving a little differently. And the flag your cells fly, your blood type, turns out to be connected to some of the very things that decide how the second half of our lives unfolds. I'm talking about your heart, your blood vessels, your risk of certain illnesses, even, in some studies, how your blood clots. These are not small things. These are the things that, after 60, quietly determine whether the years ahead are full of energy and freedom or full of doctor's visits and worry. So let me take you into the part that surprised me most when I first studied it carefully. The connection between your blood type and your heart. There is a large body of research now, real research, the kind done across tens of thousands of people over many years, that has noticed something. People with blood types A, B, and AB appear, on average, to carry a slightly higher risk of certain heart and circulation problems than people with type O. Slightly higher rates of heart disease. A somewhat greater tendency for the blood to clot. In some studies, a higher likelihood of trouble with the blood vessels over time. Now, I want you to hear me very carefully here, because this is exactly the place where bad health advice is born. A slightly higher risk is not a sentence. It is not destiny. If you are type A, you are not doomed. And if you're a type O, please do not close this video feeling like you've won some lottery and can eat whatever you please, because you absolutely cannot, and I'll explain why in a moment. What this tells us is something gentler and more powerful. It tells us that your body came with certain tendencies built in. Think of it like a car. Some cars are built with a tendency to rust a little faster in wet climates. That doesn't mean the car will fall apart. It means the owner, who knows about that tendency takes better care, washes off the salt, keeps it in the garage, and that car outlasts the one whose owner never knew. Your blood type is a hint about which kind of care your particular body benefits from most. So if these tendencies are real, the obvious next question is the one my patients always jump to. Then doctor, should I be on the blood type diet? Should I be eating for my type? And now I have to be the honest doctor again, even when honesty is less exciting than the promise. The famous blood type diet, the one that says type O should eat like a hunter with lots of meat, type A should eat like a farmer with mostly plants, and so on. That specific diet, the one in the popular books, has been tested by scientists. And I want you to know what they found, because you deserve the truth and not the marketing. When researchers actually studied people following those eating plans, they did find that some of those people got healthier. Their cholesterol improved. Their blood pressure came down. That sounds like a win for the blood type diet, doesn't it? But here is the twist, and it's a big one. When they looked closer, the people who followed the type A plan got healthier whether or not they actually had type A blood. And the people on the type O plan improved whether or not they were type O. Do you understand what that means? It means the benefit was real, but it had nothing to do with their blood type. The benefit came from the fact that these eating plans got people eating more vegetables, more whole foods, less processed junk, less sugar. Any reasonable person who starts eating that way gets healthier. The blood type label was, in the end, just a story that motivated people to eat better. A nice story, but not the reason it worked. So please, I am asking you as your doctor for these 20 minutes, do not spend your money on an expensive blood type meal plan believing the letter on your chart is the magic key. It is not. The magic was never in the blood type. The magic was in the real food. But, and this is important, so don't go anywhere, that does not mean your blood type is useless. It means we have to use it the smart way, not the salesman's way. Here's the smart way. Your blood type doesn't tell you a special secret menu. What it does is tell you which risks to keep one eye on. If you're type A, B, or AB, with that slightly higher tendency toward heart and clotting issues, then the eating habits that protect your heart matter just a little more for you. Not different food, the same good food, just taken more seriously. And if you're type O, you don't get a free pass, but the area you especially want to watch is different because type O has its own tendencies, including in some studies a higher rate of certain stomach troubles and ulcers. Different flag, different thing to watch. See how much more useful that is than a gimmick menu? Your blood type isn't your diet. Your blood type is your reminder of where your particular body is a little more fragile, so you know where to put your attention. And that brings me to the part I most want you to remember. Because after all these years, I can tell you that the things that actually matter after 60 are not exotic. They are not hidden in your blood type or in some supplement sold online. They are almost embarrassingly simple. And that simplicity is exactly why people ignore them. We are wired to believe the answer must be complicated. It isn't. Let me give you what truly matters more than your blood type ever will. The first is protein. I cannot say this strongly enough to my patients over 60. After this age, our bodies begin to lose muscle, quietly, year by year, often without us noticing until the day we struggle to rise from a chair or we have a fall. This loss of muscle is one of the great hidden enemies of aging. And the single most powerful thing you can do to fight it is to eat enough protein and to keep moving. Eggs, fish, beans and lentils, chicken, Greek yogurt. A little protein at every meal, not just at dinner. Your muscles are your independence. Protect them like the treasure they are. The second is your fiber, and with it, the health of your gut. As we age, digestion slows, and the community of tiny organisms living in our intestines, yes, you have an entire world living inside you, that community changes, often for the worse. Vegetables, fruit, beans, oats, whole grains. These feed the good organisms and keep everything moving the way it should. This matters for every blood type, every single one. The third is what you take out, not just what you put in. The processed foods, the excess sugar, the salty packaged snacks that sit on shelves for 2 years without spoiling. After 60, your body is far less forgiving of these than it was at 30. The blood vessels stiffen, the blood pressure climbs, and no blood type, not even lucky type O, is protected from what sugar and processed salt do to an aging body. And the fourth, water. Plain, simple water. As we age, something strange happens. Our sense of thirst actually fades. You can be dehydrated and not feel thirsty at all. And mild, constant dehydration in older adults causes confusion, fatigue, dizziness, even falls. So many of my patients who came in feeling foggy and exhausted simply weren't drinking enough. Water is not glamorous, but it might be the most underrated medicine in your whole kitchen. Protein, fiber, less processed food, enough water. That is the foundation. And notice, not one of those depends on your blood type. Your blood type told us where to aim a little extra care. But this foundation is for all of us. Now, I promised you at the beginning one more thing, a single morning habit. And I told you it matters more than your blood type, which might have sounded like an exaggeration. It wasn't. Let me explain it now, because this is the piece I most want you to carry with you. The habit is this. When you wake up tomorrow, before the coffee, before the news, before the worries of the day come rushing in, drink a full glass of water, and then, within the first hour, eat something with real protein in it. It sounds almost too small to matter, but think about what happens in your body overnight. You go 8, 9, 10 hours with nothing to drink. By morning, you are mildly dehydrated every single day. Your blood is a touch thicker, which for those of you with the clotting tendencies we talked about, is the very last thing you want first thing in the morning. And it is no accident that more heart events happen in the early hours than at any other time of day. That glass of water is not nothing. It is you, gently, taking care of the exact vulnerability your body carries. And the protein in the morning? It tells your muscles every single day, we are still building, we are still strong. It steadies your blood sugar so you don't crash and crave sweets by mid-morning. It is a small daily vote for the strong, independent version of yourself you want to be at 80 and 90. One glass of water, one good breakfast with protein every morning. That is a habit any one of us can keep, regardless of the letter on our blood chart. And done every day for the years ahead, it will do more for you than any diet book with your blood type on the cover. So let me bring all of this together because I want you to leave with something clear, not a head full of facts. Your blood type is real and it is meaningful, but not in the way the salesmen tell you. It is not a secret menu. It is a quiet hint about where your particular body needs a little extra attention. If you carry type A, B, or AB, you give your heart that extra care. If you carry type O, you keep an eye on your stomach. But every one of us, every type, builds our health on the same simple foundation. Enough protein, plenty of fiber, far less processed food and sugar, and enough water. And every one of us can begin tomorrow with that one morning habit, a glass of water and a good breakfast that protects us at the very hour our bodies are most at risk. You don't need to be afraid of your blood type. You need to understand it, and now you do. That understanding is something most people your age will never have, and you have it now. I would genuinely love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me your age and your blood type. I read them and it tells me what to make next for you. And if there is someone you love who is over 60, someone who would benefit from hearing this truth instead of the marketing, please share this with them. It might be the most caring thing you do for them this week. Take care of yourself. You have earned these years. Let's make sure they are strong ones. I'll see you in the next video.